Hey everyone, welcome back to the Anderson Bros Outdoors. I'm Jake, and today we are opening this Capra four-wheel steer. All right, welcome back. So we're going to open this Capra four-wheel steer today. I'm not going to do a huge in-depth video on it. This truck has been out for quite some time, so I'm going to kind of breeze through this opening. For one, I'm super excited. Two, there's many videos out there, I would assume, on it, so yeah. Not going to waste everyone's time. Put this on the floor. You did see that I cut the box open. True. Let's see what we got here. Let's turn this sucker around. There it is in all its glory. It is a 10th scale Capra, and it does have four-wheel steer. There's a couple of things. I've been doing a little research on these. Never had one before, so there's really a few major changes that you need to make. First of all, the wheels and tires have to go. Second of all, the transmission sucks. I think it's geared too high from what I'm reading. And then the front end needs a little weight, and the servos are less than stellar. Right out of the box, that's what's going to get fixed. Speaking of right out of the box, let's go ahead and open it up. I did, as you can see, get the red one. They are in two colors, so there is a red version and a black version. I would have preferred the black version, but I got this on sale, and red was all that was left in stock. We do have it open. First thing that I am able to grab is the radio, so I'm going to pull that out. The rest should follow. And that's it. There you have it, folks. We have the radio and then the truck in this little boxy box thing here. Unlike most trucks, this is actually just sitting on the inner box. The truck is actually not supported in any way like most trucks are. It is sitting directly on the wheels. So let's cut these zip ties. There's some zip ties holding the truck in place. Bam! Pull that sucker out of there, huh? Check this thing out. So it's actually not too bad. The red is kind of dull, and I like it. It's not a bright red. It's a kind of a dull red color. It does have a light bar, which is pretty cool, and then the headlights supposedly work. Again, pretty nifty. The shocks feel like they might be a touch bouncy, but they're not terrible. The springs are they're a little tall, I think. Looking at it, you know, sitting like this or riding probably right around here is where I'd want it. We'll get that fixed. It's got an interior, a bunch of detailed stickers in the interior. I really like that. It's not just black and that's it. There's a bunch of stickers for a GPS, the radio, the shifters, and everything. I mean, there's a center console, all of it. So that's pretty cool. Everybody's favorite, taking off the plastic. There's only one piece of plastic. That must have been to protect the roof. Whatever. Pretty neat truck. This is where the Nitto trail grapplers came from. I have a set of these I got from a friend, and they suck. They are vented. They're just really, they're stiff. The compound is like really hard. I think it'd be really good in the mud, I feel like. Maybe something that's real jagged too, where the compound needs to be a little stiffer so that the rocks or whatever doesn't break through it. Four-wheel steer is going to be fun to learn with. The radio, I'm not even going to use that. We've all seen Spectrum radios before. We did get this booklet with some couple spare parts and some batteries. There is a sticker in there. Looks like Axial Adventure Anywhere. Always got to have a sticker. Good old Horizon Hobbies. And this book is thick. There's about 30 different languages. There's only a couple pages that are relevant. Looks like we can get to the front by pulling these pins on the hood, and then the hood just pops up. Bam! And there's a bunch of stuff under there. We will be using the Noble controller for this. I'm not even going to open the stock controller, so I'll pull out the ESC and receiver. I will be putting in a Fusion SE motor. I will be using a RSV 800 NSDRC servo for the front. I'm going to use a 500 for the rear. When I've replaced those, I also have two Capra servo mount metal servo mounts for the axles. I'll be putting those on there. And then I also have a set of Capra overdrive gears from Vanquish or Incision for the front. I am going to make these changes probably off camera, and then we're going to come back when I've got them all done, and I will let you know of any issues or details that I run into, and then we're going to take it out and we're going to run it. Then we're back. All the upgrades have been completed. Really pretty seamless. The only thing that I had to do was trim one of the rear link spots for the motor. There's a lot of videos out there. I just Googled it real quick, and I was able to find what I needed. I added the front and rear servos. I added the Vanquish mounts for the servos. I added the motor. I dropped the pinion from a 14 tooth to an 11 tooth. I was going to put a 8 tooth on there, but it didn't fit, and I didn't have it between an 8 and an 11. I just had 8 or 11, so 11 it was. I haven't driven it yet, so I'm not sure if that's going to be adequate. We'll see. I'm hoping that it is. I did move everything, all the electronics wise, into the back fuel cell. Put the on-off switch right under the hood. And then really the only thing I did besides add the portal gears from Vanquish, the overdrive portal gears, is I added the stock Vanquish springs on these shocks. So it does make it sit lower, and it eliminates the need to have to remove the lower spring mount. I had these laying around. I threw them on there. They work perfectly. And then the last thing you'll notice that I did was I put these Injora wheels with these Maxxis Trepadors, the 5.2s, I believe is what they are, just to kind of see what it looked like. And I'm really digging it. I like the bronzish color with the red. I think it looks really good. The stance is good. The only additional thing that I'll do is get some portal weights potentially for the front. At least I'll get some aluminum knuckles and outer portal covers, just to ensure that these plastic ones don't break. It's not a huge deal if they do. It is what it is. Before I take it out and run it, I'm going to weigh it. Oh, wow, it's a lot heavier than I thought it'd be. It's 6.46 pounds. Do that again for validation. Yep, 6.466 pounds. It is hefty. It's a lot heavier than I had thought it was going to be. I don't know the front rear weight bias. I'll do that later. But right now I'm really itching to get it out. Like I said, I did program it to the Noble NB4. Channel 1 is the front steering, and then we have throttle. And then the rear is controlled with this lower TR4. It is kind of painful, I would say. I'm hoping to get used to it. If I don't get used to it, I'll figure something else out. Enough rambling. Let's take it outside and let's see what it can do. We can tell right away that the overdrive is pretty significant. It's probably perfect, honestly. Don't know that I'd want to add any more. You can see it is a little moist out here. I like how the remote does tell you when it's back on center point. Yeah, see, I feel like the front's just a little light here. It is. Really wants this climb, but I don't feel like it's gonna make it, because that front is just so light. Yeah, that front is just too light for that, huh? Didn't really want to get the tires muddy, but there they are, so. Use the rear steer to get out from under that ledge over there. And I do suck with rear steer. Comes in clutch. I really like how the controller tells you it's on 0. It is crawling pretty slow. It's doing all right. This is a pretty hard little spot here. You kind of have to be very... Well, I guess it's not a hard spot. There we go. Wrong way. Alright, we're in a pickle here, and I am not going to break the truck on the first outing, so we're just going to move it. This is more of a tire test than anything here. More of a tire test because of that lip. Maybe if we can get... I guess it's not a tire test. So that's pretty easy. Alright, let's try the old tower here, huh? Tell you what, four-wheel steer is, while recording, is pretty interesting to say the least. It makes it way easier to get up this, though. Well, I went a little far. Oh, this is so hard. Trying to concentrate on three things. Oh, we done dropped it. It's so hard. Now we see why it's so hard. All these rocks keep moving, causing big problems. I'm ready for concrete. See? If the rock didn't move, we wouldn't have a problem. Now we have a problem over here. Reset. Reset. Probably aren't the best tires for the conditions right now. It's pretty moist out. And we got it, finally. All right, so as you can see, my driving skills with four-wheel steer are less than adequate, and why I got this truck to begin with. So there's a couple of things to note. So I bent this front steering servo horn. I thought I had adequate servo horns for this truck, but they use 20 millimeter horns and not 24 millimeter horns. I have a bunch of 24 millimeter ones. I have 0 20 millimeters. I have to order some. I have a 24 on the rear, and it's catching the rear pumpkin slightly, but it's still catching it, and I don't want it to break the axle housing or mess up the servo. So just an FYI. These tires, they work really well-ish. They do work really well in situations where there's a lot of grip. And by grip, I mean there's a lot of area where there's sharp edges or surfaces of rock that you can grab onto. Overall, the truck does really well. Out of the box, I'm sure it does fantastic with the stock radio and servos. Probably not. We junked all the stock electronics. You know, it is what it is. We changed out the pinion from a 14 tooth to an 11 tooth. I wanted to go lower, but I couldn't. The 11 tooth I think will work fine. We added the servos, and then we added the Noble in before. It's a fantastic controller. It's going to take some adjustment. It's really hard trying to record, go forward, steer with the front axle, and steer with the rear axle. I mean, you're doing 4 things at once there, and it's, yeah, you're just going to have to bear with me on that because it is quite challenging. I know I didn't get much footage on this trip. I'm hoping to get some more footage in the very near future. I did want to get this opened up so that way I could use it. I've been faunching at the bit. I've had this for probably 2 or 3 months now. I just have not had the chance to get it out and utilized. Now that I do have it out, I am excited. It is awesome. I don't know if I'll keep these tires on here or not. For now, they'll probably stay. Overall, I am impressed with the truck out of the box, at least the roller anyway. It's pretty pricey for what it is. With that being said, I don't really have there's no real drawbacks, honestly. Once you make those changes, you know, there's not any huge issues on the truck. On the axles, they've got cap screws instead of buttons, but the cap screws are up, right? You have this area here where you're going to slide over it. Now, I would prefer to have buttons on the bottom, and I'll probably change those out at some point. For right now, they're adequate. I do still have a build coming with these axles. So if you have any recommendations there, let me know, because that is going to be sooner than later. I do want to have a better four-wheel steer truck. Hats off to everyone out there that's a YouTuber and they can control their four-wheel steer truck and record at the same time. I'm going to get there, but big kudos to you all because it's definitely hard. Thanks for watching. Feel free to drop a like. Otherwise, we hope you have a great day.